Imagine receiving an offer letter in the mail that will change your life forever. You're currently Class G. You live in the outskirts, no chance of moving up in station or position. You've barely received an education, and your prospects are few and far between. Then, the letter comes. It offers you a position at one of the most prestigious companies in the world, an immediate bump up to Class A, and a salary of over 10,000 credits a day. That would be more money than you've ever dreamed of. There's just one catch. The letter doesn't say what the job is. You'll have to board the train and head into the city to see for yourself what your new job at Sintracorp will entail. This is where Brian Pasternack's and our journey begins. Let's 100% Yuppie Psycho. We enter the main lobby of Sintracorp to find two other like-minded people on their first day. On one side, Chapman, a man who greets us with the kindness and formality you'd expect of a coworker. Unfortunately, he hates the pores, so strike one to this guy for being best friend material. Read the magazines scattered around the lobby to learn that Sintracorp, the company we work for, only hires people at the top of their class. Chat up Kate, a woman we learn was classy and graduated number 1, making us by far the weakest candidate here who isn't named Chapman. He gets called up, letting us know right before he leaves that the floors of the building are directly correlated to your importance within the company. With him deposited safely in Weenie Hut Jr., we watch Kate secure a respectable 4th floor position, then show our letter to the camera to find out our placement. First, they came for the hot singles in my area. Then they came for my Nigerian inheritance. And now you're telling me I don't get the mysterious letter job? The top floor. Kill the witch? Fuck. These fries are gonna be way harder to put in the bag than I thought. Take a glance through the nearby contract. Blah 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 devil, blah 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 sell my soul, blah 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 you can't sue us. Yeah, I'm not fucking signing that. I'm out. See ya. For managing to be the one guy that would survive a horror movie, we receive the first of many endings, each of which we'll have to complete before clocking out for the day. Go-Go Gadget Groundhog Day, this time whipping out our John Hancock and throwing her down. That was probably unrelated. Our first office perk, aside from 10% off a new pair of leggings, is that we have free range of the building, allowing us to take a peek at the other floors to see what's on offer. Floor 0, as we know, is the lobby. Floor 1 is the canteen, where we steal this man's breakfast, drain the entire water cooler, and yoink someone's lunch, solidifying our status as Sintracorp's second worst employee behind Chapman. Also in here is a broken altar, but I haven't put enough skill points into religion yet to really understand what's going on. Grab $30 out of a trash can before heading up to Chapman's floor, which is apparently called Initiation. Rummage through the garbage again to get an ink cartridge, with any further progress being hindered by our fear of the dark. Floor 3 is workshop and security, but apart from scrounging up some loose items and cabinets, there's nothing to do here yet. Floor 4 is the Hive, the office where Kate works, but seeing as in the 15 seconds since we left Floor 2, we haven't acquired big floppy pajamas and a candelabra, we're still stopped by the darkness. Floor 5 is our office, so delay heading there and scope out the rest of the building. Floor 9 is an art exhibition for something called the Devil's Blood, or as I like to call it, Diablo Sauce. We aren't able to enter yet, but we do find a strange post-it note on the far wall. If we somehow manage to find the letter M, I know just what to do. Floor 8 is the garden. Floor 7 is the archives, where we find a destroyed painting honoring someone named AM. And Floor 6 is off limits and will be for the entire game. With our GPS updated, head down to Floor 5, getting a visit from the paper fairy. Waiting for us as we step off is Hugo, a coworker who agrees to show us around. In the main office is Sosa, another office mate, and we get the rundown on brewing some Joe. Absolutely drain the reservoir right in front of Hugo's eyes, then flip everything in this room over and shake it out, including Hugo's desk, which he's not too happy about. We find the coffee powder in the garbage, the exact place I would put it. Learn about photocopying. Being forced to use that weird paper we got in the elevator since the copier's out. Apparently, our orientation is complete, so plug in your computer and immediately get rejected, just like job hunting in real life. Hugo goes to check if our ID was delivered, so Fortnite loot his desk while he's gone to find a rare cat food. Make like Mario and learn that our ID is in another office, so head out to retrieve it, finding another sheet of witch paper, staring at our reflection, and accepting a perfectly regular cup of water from this lovely gentleman. Discover the Employee of the Month wall filled to the brim with Hugopotamus. Then enter Office C to find a lady staring at horse feces. Plug ourselves into the Matrix and insert the disc for pushing, gaining access to Office D and watching objects fly off the shelves faster than a Black Friday sale from 2008. This man's been tied to a chair in a pile of his own vomit, or as I like to call it, Saturday night. Use him as a light source while searching for 3 cardboard boxes, entering the back hallway and staring in horror at the gore on the walls, slowly inserting your hands into everyone's pockets. Rufus the Naked Mole Rat has been primed for this moment, so ditch that other dude and successfully escape, landing right outside Office E and checking in with Sosa, who tells us to head in to where we saw Hugo last. He tells us our ID card has been here the whole time, dropping the lore that there are no bosses in the entire company, as all of them eventually go insane or die, taking my interest in this company up by 1. With our ID card successfully acquired, insert it into the PC and enter. Sintranet. Every employee within the company has their own unique Sintranet, a system that has to be taking up so much server space that I can only assume Floor 6 is wall-to-wall racks. We meet Sintra, our AI companion modeled after the company's mascot, legally distinct Mickey Mouse. Steamboat Willie runs us through our job description, the first task being to find a book called Hexenhammer. This book contains all the information we'll need to identify witches and how to kill them, and it's luckily located within the building on the 7th floor. Upon asking Sintra for additional details, we learn that witch hunters have been getting hired for a long time, but none have yet been successful. Right before we log at a Club Penguin, we get one final warning from Sintra.
Do not speak of your job. She is hunting you. She could be anyone. You have been warned.
After our daily dose of ominous warnings, proceed to check every floor aside from the 7th, as the requirements to get certain events to trigger are very strict, so patrolling the building on the reg is required. To prove my point, now in the canteen is Malone. She's just straight up a sexual predator, but I robbed the cafeteria blind the moment I got here, so everyone has pros and cons. Journey to the 7th floor, printing out our requisition form and beginning our search for Hex and Hammer. Read a note telling us that photocopying our soul saves our progress, calling into question whether every new picture contains a piece of our soul Horcrux style. Redial the matrix to push a filing cabinet, seeing a shape drawn on the wall. Explore the archives, finding a note mentioning something sinister in the library, probably not a reference to the modern-day romance section. Waiting further up our bookshelves with Roman numerals on them, luckily stopping at 10 because anything past 19 is a real crapshoot. This lady's briefcase contains the same form I'm currently filling out, and she doesn't look very decomposed, so my position must have an insane churn rate. Follow the clues littered around the shelves, eventually reaching a manila folder that must be hooked into the power grid. While we're here, do you remember that post-it note from the 9th floor? Odd. This dastardly witch has taken to leaving landmines around the area, outfitted with a state-of-the-art eyeball to better see people with? Grab the sharpest object near us and give it the daredevil treatment. Only these guys won't be being born again. Proceed upstairs, finding another symbol and grabbing the folder, allowing us to fill in the authors of Hex and Hammer. Move into the next hallway, kicking down a ladder and scoping out the nearby rooms. They're shrouded in darkness, which I still have yet to be born in or molded by, so head down and... Identify the final symbol and scrounge through the left-behind briefcase to discover the greatest horror of all. That guy forgot his sandwich. Shove raw aluminum foil into the fuse box with 0 protection, powering up the 2nd floor and heading up to check it out. Enter the first of 3 rooms to find it full of cats begging for food, so pop open some fancy feast and peace out, stabbing another landmine in the room over to gain access to the Mysterio Zone.
I require large amounts of your currency.
Sure, Space Dude, whatever you say, just don't disintegrate me or whatever.
Waiting behind door number 3 is this person, who tells us about the pencil trick we already know, but we see Video Club written above them, a message that simply can't be deciphered right now. Exit the Monty Hall problem and go to the next area, stabbing more times than alternate universe Applejuice Simpson. Hiding in the corner is another cardboard box, and on the other side is a weird VHS tape titled Video Club Mysterio Chrysalis. Copy down the Hex and Hammer info on the back table, returning. Who was that springy frog-based superhero? A conundrum for another time, as we now have to navigate back to the entrance in the dark, implying that we could have done this the entire time, but we're just too scared. We only nearly die, our life force getting resuscitated by pounding that almost dead guy's grilled cheese, and head back to check out the VHS tape we just got. With us now only having 7 days, follow the trail of blood in and check the shelves, finding a cassette tape and discount Darth Vader. He informs us he was also a hunter, getting done in by a landmine before crawling here, making him significantly worse at his job than me. Take our newfound cassette and return to Video Club Mysterio, learning the year of publication.
6,
Do you think I have to write ha 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 down as part of the date, or do you think I can exclude that? Before returning to the library though, reverse back to the archives and move every shelf here. Insert our form into the computer, which requires Sintra's seal before we can gain access, so re-enter the elevator to meet Rostov. Sosa is waiting for us when we return, asking about our job and informing us about the witch, making Sosa prime evil candidate number 1. Hugo crashes the party, looking significantly less whack job crazy than the last time we saw him, and we plunge back into Sintranet to find Sintra missing. She's hiding just around the corner, swinging, making me wonder one thing. Why would a robot want a swing set? Do some in-depth field testing, receiving an email on the way out about a meeting in Office C later today, then elevate back up to use our newly stamped form to gain access to the library. Taking 3 steps into the room nets us a sweet new flashlight, so immediately heel spin and walk through every area that was previously restricted. Check out Chapman's floor, laughing in his face at his misfortune and grabbing some spare batteries that make the flashlight 4,000% brighter. Scour the floors to find various odds and ends, including this man on the 4th floor who gives us a mysterious warning. We're also now able to make a 5-credit offering to the AM Shrine on the 5th floor, one of the most missable but also most important things we'll do all game. Back in the penthouse suite, we find a drawing of a rat with cheese, likely a reference to the contract being bait for us. Either that, or we ourselves are the bait, making us in this analogy, cheese. The 8th floor garden is jam-packed full of goodies, such as this smoking lady talking about blind goblins, some witch paper, and a hidden area containing another VHS tape. That's pretty much everything we can find right now, so journey back to the library, discovering a puzzle straight out of RE1. For beginning to believe, we gain access to the hallway beyond the painting, which is strewn with letters all written by one person, AM. The first warns us against trusting anyone, the second references a dagger being in the hands of someone called the Crow, while the third says they must all hide their names to avoid discovery. Just beyond the final letter, we find the guy with glass bones and paper skin, robbing him of all his earthly possessions, including grab Hexenhammer and burn rubber, but by now you guys are veterans. You know what's coming. Having defeated the 8-legged freak, watch the owl from the Tootsie Pop commercials peace out, then return to the office to find something at Sosa's desk. Bring Hexenhammer to Sintra, updating our mission objective. Where the witch? Who the witch? We'll find a dagger called a Thame to kill the witch. Sintra says fire should work, but according to her records, the witch has already been burned before, a sentiment I understand every time I try to do the worm at a wedding. My rendezvous with Sintra gets broken up by 4 halves of 2 centaurs, who proceeds to drag me into a meeting with the rest of Floor 5. We're led in a rousing speech that we must memorize before he starts talking about his encounter with the witch. Some of that information could be useful, or it could all be garbage. But either way, we're granted the nickname Parsnip, and tested for short-term memory loss by repeating the lines of the chant earlier. For successfully passing a field dementia test, we're given the task of making a new friend by the horse. Running off the high from crushing that meeting, we forget our briefcase, which Hugo brings to us out of the kindness of his heart. Mappy, the person we saw sitting inside Video Club Mysterio earlier, apparently decided to come down from the 7th floor and set up shop here. So check our total cash reserves. What is this? Strange. Either way, buy the cardboard box and hit our first real save of the game, then return to the elevator and descend to the 4th floor to access the Hive. Hard at work, we find Kate, who demonstrates her secret technique of hiding under desks, before activating every boss's favorite leadership technique, delegation. Her coworkers are scattered around the office and only respond to marketing-based slogans, something which is now our problem. Use Kate's knee-breaker jutsu to find another VHS tape hidden behind a desk, then wander around and grab anything that looks like marketing material. Track down the other half of this blue screen to find the phrase for the nearby worker and drop him off. Then overhear these two talking about diet medication, giving us another phrase and allowing us to find something called an electronic piece. The diet phrase we just got pairs perfectly well with this man's main course of copper wiring, allowing us to get rewarded with a screwdriver by the IT guy, Dashi. Navigate the rest of the floor and nab any remaining employees, returning them all to their open concept office, before Kate tells us there's one final employee, and she just went into HR. Seeing as entering HR is about as exhilarating as a leisurely stroll through the perfume department, let's throw a 180 now that we have the screwdriver and go Bob the Builder mode. Starting at floor 1, re-encounter the guy we saw earlier in the Hive, who drops an envelope with a candy bar inside, an act which makes me question why the envelope was needed at all. Utilize both the screw and the drive technologies to repair the shrine here, making a 5-credit offering and returning to floor 5 to learn some additional intel about Sintracorp's past. In 1971, the stock of Sintracorp was falling, which had a massive effect on the global economy. But given the fact that it's the #1 job site in the modern day, we can assume that somehow they turned the ship around. Balance out this act of intellectualism by sticking our hand inside the trash can again, then search Rostov's desk and steal her sleeping pills. Heading towards the restroom, chat up this lady praying at the shrine we lit earlier, who tells us that AM was a former employee who is now considered a saint throughout the building. I know I don't have to connect these pieces for you, dear viewer, since you're the ultimate most smartest person in the whole wide world, but for the rest of the plebeians in the audience, AM was the author of the letters we found in the library, meaning that a former witch hunter has been elevated to urban legend status within the company. Entering the restroom, kick open Malone's stall door like a cowboy walking into a saloon, except with 90% more sexual harassment allegations. I wouldn't be doing this unless it was absolutely vital, but the information Malone gives us here is legitimately important, so... She tells us she knows something about toads, that they lay their eggs in plants. Let's take a look around. Use the bloody key to open Office F and find... a slaughter. Crawl under the desks here to access the next room, but missing the required tools stops us from progressing any further. Head back out and lock the door behind us, armed with 2 new pieces of knowledge. 1, Malone is an even bigger freak than I thought. And 2, Hugo is hiding something. Something he doesn't want anyone else to find. Replace the key before we leave, and make a quick pit stop into Video Club Mysterio to unscrew a grate for later. Then snag a VHS tape hidden in the desk Mappy was sitting on, and watch any tapes we haven't cleared yet. With us now 4,000% more susceptible to demonic possession, activate our crawling powers to squeeze through a crack behind the cats, opening a chest containing information about the witch's familiars, 9 in total. Each of them are represented by an animal, and has their own respective drawing for us to find around the building, some of which you've already seen. It would appear based on this list that wolf, raven, toad, and snake are all still on the menu. Hop in the grate we opened earlier for a shortcut back to Office D, then enter the Lowe's Home and Garden section to get our daily dose of cheese-based goblin facts. Having recently discovered the concept of bending our knees at the age of 22, rustle through the dirt nearby to find another cardboard box, then bridge to Terabithia over to a man in a canoe who tells us some fun forest goblin adjectives. Keep heading northbound, reading a notice that if the fire is lit, burn witch paper. The fire, just like every party I get invited to, is not lit, so head through the grate, activating another shortcut back to the restroom on floor 5. As a reward for hoarding cardboard, we're now able to build a return pathway to Video Club Mysterio, which wraps up our additional exploration and allows us to progress into HR. Immediately divert from the path to discover a news clipping detailing that the Sintras experienced a death in the family, but as of writing, no one's seen the autopsy report. Reach the inside of HR to discover that around every corner is a clone of Haley Welch, all waiting to spit on that thing. Utilize anything at our disposal to avoid such a fate, eventually reaching the back rooms and finding as tempting as throwing my entire human body into a giant lady's mouth would be, I'm gonna opt to not do that. The lips do reveal a clue though, a photograph of something. Search the office, finding the employee hiding under a table and eventually speaking to another worker who tells us that the mouth can only see those who have a special item on their person. Before I walk away, I show her the weird object we found in our briefcase, which she is unimpressed by. This guy totally misunderstood the resume workshop sponsored by Gushers, and we learn the final slogan and take it back to the employee. Take a cheat day from being a good person, and strap the evil devil magic to this lady, and then fucking kill her, getting the photograph and the employee back in the process. I definitely knew that was gonna happen. Look at the picture to see. Return our victim to Kate, watching HR break containment and begin patrolling the floor. The hive from this point forward will get a lot harder to walk through. Safely back in the elevator, return to Chapman's floor just to laugh in his face, but agree to try and get him a promotion for $1,000. Steal his identity and begin a series of tasks that can't possibly have any true bearing on increasing the company's stock price. Despite being undeserving, Chapman has now been promoted to floor 3, so go scope out his new digs, except he immediately leaves because he sucks. Make the trip up here worth it by talking to Dashi, who's returned to his normal floor and set up shop. He asks us to hand over any electronic pieces we can, so pass him the one we got earlier to receive an upgrade to the flashlight. He also gives us the lowdown on dot matrices, enemies that supposedly are some of the worst within the building. Not running and having a surplus of ink on hand are both tips we'll need to remember for the future. On his way out, Chapman left the door to security open, so do what we do best and head in to fuck shit up. Within this area are 10 camera monitoring stations, each of which play different scenes throughout the game depending on certain events taking place. This is the reason I have to run to every floor anytime we make progress, as certain events only come online during specific triggers. The first scene we see is Chapman on the phone with his papa, who tells him to nut up or shut up, prompting him to hit the so no head sand skateboard. Camera 1 is an example of a specific trigger, as it shows Rostov complaining about getting her food stolen, a crime we may never be able to solve. Lying next to Camera 1 is a guy in distress, so do the humane thing and jack his wallet and then kill him. Continue forwards, spotting someone from HR in the distance, and then navigating the hallways here to reach Camera 10. Camera 10 just shows the penthouse in its current state, so continue deeper into the labyrinth to find Miss Jung, who asks for your help in finding proof that something happened within the building. Why are we doing everyone else's job and our own? Because that's modern capitalism. And unfortunately, due to the company only making $1 gorillion, all employees will be losing their 10% discount at Applebee's. Before we make like a banana and leave, shove this CRT over and find our third victim lying next to Camera 3, which has Dashi talking to generic man number 7. Camera 6 has nothing, and a shelf near Camera 7 has a blank VHS tape, while the station itself shows Mappy and Sosa recording a scene for Video Club Mysterio outside the library before the spider tells them to go away. Camera 8's just some garden water cooler talk, we execute another innocent man, and Camera 9 is just a live feed of the elevator. The final trapped employee makes a run for it, knowing that their end is only seconds away. Unfortunately, I already blocked the exit with the TV, allowing me to rob and obliterate them. Back at Camera 3, use the blank VHS tape to record Dashi and the weird guy, learning that the weird guy was sneaking pictures of the HR reps, which still isn't cool even if they are evil mouth monsters. Return the evidence to Jung, who rewards us with a promotion, except we already outrank her since we're on the 5th floor, so now double why did I have to do that? Regardless, do Chapman another solid, and get him bumped up to the hive. Maybe proximity to Kate will make him less of everything that he is. Behind Jung is a vent that direct ships us to Camera 4, where Malone and Kate talk about boys. A corner near Camera 10 hides a secret path full of enemies that all leads towards one thing. Camera 5, a camera that isn't even activated yet. It does give us a shortcut back to the front door though, so I'll call that a W. Seeing as there's not much else we can do right now, enter the final area and successfully steal everyone's identities and prepare to battle the head of security. As a reward for doing the heroic thing and saving all those people earlier, he sends the roaming enemy away, and we finish the fight 1v1. Pull the plug on this guy harder than every grandchild in a no inheritance tax state, ripping a new camera off his corpse and backtracking to find that Camera 2 and 5 are now online. Camera 2 has that, and Camera 5 gives us hard proof of something we could only assume before. There's something in that second room. A mystery we'll have to file away for right now, as we still need to ask Sintra about the photo we got from HR earlier. Only, Sintra's gone again. Enter a library-like room off to the left side, finding her and showing her the photo. Apparently the robot standing before us now is based on the daughter of the Sintras, Ray, but there's no information about the person burned out in the photo. Our task of identifying the witch gets updated to finding out more about the Sintra family, a mission which will take us back to the 8th floor garden, as every member of the family was buried within the building. Before leaving, check this empty portrait near where Sintra was standing earlier to learn the title of this unfinished piece. Seeing as I'm not in a rush to meet Gozer, stop by the canteen to inform Chapman we got him promoted again, mainly just to flex that we're crushing it. He replies by requesting to be promoted to the 9th floor, and as payment gives me an empty cigarette carton. What a peach. Decide that battling the devil would probably be less stressful than talking to Chapman, so throw it in reverse and head for the 8th floor, reaching the gate of the cemetery to see... Someone decides to hotbox the entire 8th floor right after that, and it doesn't take Sherlock Holmes to figure out where it's coming from. The fire is lit. Since we touched the gate, security has one more scene to show us, but once that's completed, we can take the shortcut we made earlier and return to the fire pit, doing exactly what it said on the box. Enter my mind palace to remember all those weird forest goblin descriptions I told you earlier, granting us access to the forest goblin shop. For the low price of spare barcodes, we can now spend witch paper to unlock abilities that'll allow us to navigate the building easier. The cereal box we got all the way back at the beginning lets us traverse poisonous gas, and Chapman's cigarette carton heals us 30 points anytime we save. Boat Guy decided to head off to the Titanic in the sky, leaving behind a VHS tape for our collection. Fall 3 stories back down to the bathroom and walk outside to see the employee that was praying here earlier is gone, and a drawing left in her place. Back in the office, Sosa tells us that she and Mappy are behind the VHS tapes being left around, and Video Club Mysterio is their secret club. While not particularly interested in esoteric indie horror, when a goth girl tells you to join their secret club, you simply must say yes. Within Sintranet, we find Sintra in another new room, swimming and relaxing. Except, she tells us to give up and stop searching for the witch. She's not acting like the AI anymore. She's acting like Ray Sintra. Interact with her drink to learn its name, that being... Where have we seen that before? Search the area to find a second glass at the bottom of the room and return to Sintra's library. They're all Hexenhammer. This isn't just a witch hunt. It's a cycle. The system is breaking. We have to work fast, before it finds us, before she finds us. Watch the latest VHS tapes and head out. Seeing Super Toad beat us to the elevator, descending directly to our next stop, the Hive. Having obtained our new ability to breathe in the standard air of a national park bathroom, decide against heading towards the spattering of bloody corpses and instead peruse to a much chiller hallway, ending up in a fully functioning bar. The bartender here is Hidetaka Suihiro, the director of the Deadly Premonition games for some reason. Buy 11 cans of soda from his vending machine to receive vague information about the numbers 0 to 10, most of which I can't decipher. Then continue further on down the hallway to find a warning written on the ground. In a box here, we find an electronic piece and a letter signed by RC, detailing that he had the dagger in his possession and that he's leaving someone called the Tadpole out of the situation. In that same area, we find the next drawing. A toad with a knife. We know who has the dagger now, and I bet you know where it is. Before we leave, grab an empty beer bottle off the floor in Sweary's bar, returning it to the goblin to unlock a contract of water breathing. Drop the electronic piece off at Dashi's to get a lantern, a tool that emits light in a sphere instead of a beam, at the cost of twice as many batteries, locking in the fact that I will never use it. Head into the second floor stink dimension, entering a new area called the Residences, a place we saw earlier on the security cams. Hiding in this hallway is the final shrine to AM, which we make an offering to before checking the last table in this hallway. The snake. The witch is here, on this floor. We just don't know where yet. Return to the main area of the hive and proceed down the south corridor we avoided earlier, stumbling into a new enemy type, Pukemeisters. Watch a feng shui YouTube tutorial to redecorate the office, grabbing another VHS tape and entering into... Uh-oh. Quickly loot the area for anything we can find, opening a closet to see... Kate. She warns us not to run, which can only mean one thing. The dot matrix is online. This grab would be a death sentence, if not for the stockpile of ink we've been saving for this moment, allowing us to sneak our way to the bottom of the area and grab a button. As we fall deep into the bowels of the company, we get a vision of Ray Sintra before landing atop the dot matrix. Using the screwdriver activates movement functionality, allowing us to get the manual, which says to insert an ink cartridge. Doing so unlocks the attack power, clearing our path and allowing us to escape. However, we can't leave yet. There's something waiting for us beneath the water. A metal ID card belonging to R. Corvo. Pocket it for later investigation and navigate back to the elevator to reunite with Kate, agreeing to officially quit the company and leave together. Unfortunately, Colonel Dumont says the office equivalent of "what are you, a bitch?" which means we're locked in. For destroying a dot matrix on our first day, we're awarded Employee of the Month, officially marking us as undesirable number 1 to Hugo, a fact that Sosa absolutely loves. She pretty much insta-clocks that we're a witch hunter, but she's been low-key chill this entire time, so we spill the beans to her, which also gives us info about R. Corvo and his ID. She tells us that metal cards used to be given to hunters, and the 3 most senior hunters, Inazari, Amoeta, and R. Corvo, all got the closest to defeating the witch, but they've since disappeared from the company record. Pop into Video Club Mysterio to watch another A24 movie, and return to Sintranet to find nothing. Sintra's not in any of the rooms we've discovered thus far. At least, she isn't in any of our rooms. While wandering this place, I find a gap in the wall. It feels like I'm not meant to be here. Sintra's corrupted, twisted beyond recognition. The only thing she's able to tell us is a code. Bell, 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 9614. Escape the maze, finding a small oasis tucked into the top left corner. I wander the empty space for minutes, batteries on my flashlight slowly disappearing, every now and again seeing a glimpse of something at the edge of my vision. There's an envelope flying out here which simply says, "Eventually, after what feels like hours, I find her." Where have we seen a bell? While I continue to think about it, let's go back to Hugo's hidden stash now that we have the button from the dot matrix fight. ID cards, tally marks, a shrine, and the answer to every question Sintra gave us all the way back after finding Hexenhammer. The witch is a girl named Demori. The Sintra family bought her on the black market before they even formed the company and kept her locked up in one of the rooms in the house. After several years of wandering, Corvo is convinced the key is in the Sintra family home. Although it's always been the most obvious place, no one so far has been able to find anything strange in the residence. It seems the only explanation is that the way to the lair is protected by a very powerful illusion spell. Corvo has obtained the acclaimed dagger. The joint work with Moeta and Nazari has been crucial. His contacts abroad have found the exact dagger that can end this witch. Replace the broken camera here with the operational one we obtained from defeating the head of security, pulling back the curtain to reveal a symbol. Return to the 3rd floor and watch. We now know the exact spell needed to find whatever's in that wall. We just have to... Wait a minute. A bell. The symbol on the ground here is the same one guarding whatever Hugo doesn't want found. Hanging on the back wall lies a golden key with the inscription Family Cemetery. Return to security one final time to watch the last new piece of footage, then return to the dot matrix fight to obtain a cassette tape from a box we didn't have access to before. Take the shortcut to Video Club Mysterio to play it. This is the turning point. We're faced with a junction and must now make a choice. Pursue the truth, find answers, and learn what's really going on in the company. Or pursue vengeance, wrath, and the path of retribution. For both your sake and mine, let's choose the first path, and finally figure out what's really going on here. Head down to the canteen and make so much coffee that Starbucks will be suing Sintracorp for fear of unionization. Then ascend to the 8th floor and enter the family cemetery. The mausoleum is locked behind a red gemstone, and we find another VHS tape here, implying that Mappy and Sosa know about Corvo's key and are able to access it. They just always return it when they're done. Use the sleeping pills we stole from Rostov to drug the fountain, luring the owl that escaped from the library so long ago over to obtain the stone. Ray Sintra's final resting place. Except, her body is missing. Only bells remain. They had a funeral with an empty grave. Why? Begin to leave before... For successfully lighting all the shrines throughout the building, the spirit of Atia Moeta appears before us now, giving us the true story of how Sintracorp became what it is today. A couple that couldn't conceive pooled their entire life savings to buy the one thing they couldn't have: a child. This child's name was Damori. She wasn't like other children though, and she came with a strict set of rules. Keep her happy and keep her contained. Their business flourished, and they were even able to have their own child, Ray Sintra. Until everything changed. Ray Sintra disappeared. Damori was hysterical, and Sintracorp, it was on the verge of bankruptcy. There was only one thing they could do to stop the collapse of the company: burn the witch. The crisis ended. Sintracorp was restored, but Ray Sintra never returned. Since then, the company has been under control of the witch, still hiding somewhere within this very building. With our newfound revelation, return to the elevators where Rostov is waiting to drag us downstairs to help prepare for Hugo's surprise party. Seeing as this is the literal most inconvenient time possible for this, recruit everyone we've met so far, aka mainly Sosa and not at all Chapman, to get us back onto the elevator and out of party planning. It's almost subtle enough to miss, but names are starting to change. The animals from the familiar drawings are being assigned to the people of the company now. As we're talking to Kate, Rostov overhears our first name, prompting everyone at the party to reveal their own. Irina Rostov, Kate Hicks, Marta Sosa, Jenna Malone, who has this man on a leash, and Anthony Chapman, aka Tony. Right as we're about to sneak out, a new face emerges from the elevator: Mr. Bat. With our plans fully derailed, Hugo arrives, and we miss our chance to escape as Dashi pulls up to the function and busts out this performance. Despite us being closer than we ever have been to finding the witch, it feels way too rude to leave while a man is leaving everything he has literally on the table. But we have to do what we have to do. Say goodbye to Kate first, who agrees to be our friend, successfully completing the confident move from Kate, and honestly the punch feels pretty strong right about now. Hugo blocks the way out, or should I say, Mr. Toad, and apologizes for bringing up the witch. Did you see that? As we're about to leave, Hugo stops the party to announce to everyone that Sintracorp's newest employee of the month has one singular objective: kill the witch. And his name is Brian Pasternack. Everyone is dying. Dashi's deaf. She's here, hunting me, right now. The elevator's broken. It can't be broken. How could it be broken? We asked Dashi to fix it, but he needs light to work. We need to buy time, as much of it as we can. She only appears for a few seconds, but use those glimpses to lead her away from the elevator and pray Dashi has enough time to finish. He gives us his keys, and we escape the party. She doesn't let us go that easy, though. Emerge straight into Union headquarters, a team of people that would truly love to help us, but their only power is by communicating with the CEO of the company. But luckily, one is about to be chosen. The company's bylaws state that the position of CEO is automatically granted to the employee with the most seniority. That person? Hugo. Pass out, coming to in the office. Except it isn't the office. It's Sintranet. An odd thing to show us at the end. Brian is the devil, just like Ray's reference in Corvo's Sintranet. We also saw someone dressed like that earlier at the party. There's something else going on, but we don't have time to figure it out. Awaken in the office, for real this time, hearing the same sound we heard back at the party. Sintranet is destroyed, but that sound has been replaced by the corrupted Sintra theme. What if we enter Corvo's? A cocoon is waiting to be freed, and the only thing Hugo left us was a plastic knife from the party. Cut this person free, getting the question, who am I? Those first names weren't just for show. We have to choose the right name or they die here and now. Bleeding from the ears fits only one man, Dashi. With one friend rescued, crawl back to Video Club Mysterio to watch the tape we found in the graveyard. Then over here, there's only one person on this list that would come here, so lock in Marta Sosa and return to floor 5. The demon from Office D is here now, but we prepared multiple escape routes earlier, so head to the bathroom and revisit the Forest Goblin. He tells us the best way to solve a problem is to start fixing it, and there's only one person who can fix Sintra, Dashi. Go south of the Goblin to find another cocoon, this one matching the wound pattern we briefly saw on Jenna Malone. Then return to floor 5 to find Colonel Dumont and his horse fused together FMA style. Obtain another VHS tape while we're here, entering what's left of Office D to rescue Irina Rostov. Then head all the way back down to the canteen to find a pentagram, the devil costume at the center. Hiding here is Mappy, who calls us. She tells us everyone who was at the party is dead, except for one. Floor 2's promotion room contains Chapman, leaving only one coworker unaccounted for. Head to Dashi's back room to find the remains of a half-built Sintra robot, a VHS tape hiding amongst the wires. In order to rebuild Sintra, we need one thing: a head. Luckily, there's one in the building, on the 9th floor. We only have to change our clothes to enter. Now why would she call us that? As we navigate the gallery, find a painting called The Woman in Red, who injures us if we observe her. Use the paintings on either side to lure her all the way to the back of the gallery, prompting the re-arrival of Mr. Bat, who agrees to hand over Sintra's head. He tells us this isn't just a replica, this was the original model, the first to be built. Get escorted out, grabbing another VHS tape on the way, and begin the trip back to the lab. Except we can't enter yet. Copy our soul, then ascend to the 10th floor to find Hugo at the helm. He tells us he was born in Class R, not even receiving a name, and then hands us our dismissal notice. With this in hand, we're free to exit the building and leave it all behind. Whatever happens now, it's not our problem. But that's not satisfying, is it? Return to our save and enter Dashi's lab. With Sintra rebuilt, we're not just dealing with an AI anymore. This is the entire memory of Ray Sintra, the real-life little girl copied and uploaded into the robot. She agrees to take us to Demori to resolve everything, but we have another variation we have to do first. Return to the 10th floor, luring Hugo away from his desk without being seen, allowing us to grab the one thing we haven't seen until now, a theme. Show it to Sintra, who immediately destroys it to prevent harm befalling Demori. Then enter the Sintra residences, where Ray leaves you to talk to her alone, except the door vanishes behind you, and there's now a snake on the wall. Swim through the depths of the company, passing drowned office equipment and waterlogged corpses, finding the final VHS tape hiding in the back. Get bitten by a snake, transporting us back to the office. Hidden amongst the chaos are clues to escaping, but just as there are clues, there's also danger. One wrong move costs us one of our senses, but at least we get to choose. Our nose goes first. The water-breathing contract we bought earlier allows us to continue breathing, but our one free pass is gone now. Our ears go next. Only one thing left to do. Input the code. With Kate rescued, emerge from the water with Sintra, finding Ray? A voice from the darkness tells us it isn't just Ray's body, it's Demori. Behold the witch in its true form. The Demori the Sintra family burned was never the witch. It was Ray herself in Demori's body. This is partially a guess on my part, but I believe Demori's familiar, the snake, convinced her that swapping bodies would allow her to get the attention that Ray was receiving from the family, causing her to use her magic purposefully for the first time. That swap caused Ray, now within Demori's body, to become hysterical, leading to the breakdown that Moetta told us about. Demori, now in Rei's body, at some point got put into a coma by the snake itself, who has since wielded power unchecked and corrupted the company, leading to the situation as it is now. With the true story revealed, return to the 10th floor to confront Hugo again, only this time we have something we didn't have before. A Sintra. Given the green eyes, I think we can assume it's actually Rei Sintra and that Demori is now in the robot. Due to a clause in the bylaws of the company, any living member of the Sintra family automatically outranks any member of staff and becomes the CEO, meaning Hugo is fired, Rei is CEO, and everyone we care about is safe. Say goodbye to all our friends, then talk to Kate, who tells you she's staying at the company to see the new path it'll take. From here, we can either follow Kate and remain at Sintracorp, or leave and find a new path away from it. We follow Kate. The final scene is of Corvo and Hugo, revealing that Corvo offered Hugo a wish if he agreed to help him. Hugo's greatest wish is to fly free, so Corvo gives him his cape. Maybe this will help him fly. With one ending completed, return to the moment just before going to the residence, watching any remaining VHS tapes, and this time choosing not to retrieve a theme from the 10th floor. Repeat all the actions the same, this time allowing ourselves to lose all our senses in the office, receiving this message. Struggle, helpless in the depths, until being rescued by Sintra. From here, everything plays out mostly the same until we reach Hugo's office, who still has the dagger. With Hugo down, talk to Sosa to gain our official membership card into Video Club Mysterio, which includes an Easter egg for those wanting to dive deeper. Leave the office behind without talking to Kate, returning to our life in the outskirts. This time we see a young Hugo cleaning the bathroom, searching the pockets of dead employees until he finds, officially wrapping up the first route of Yuppie Psycho. It's time for Route 2. Remember when I told you it was time to make a choice? A choice between justice or revenge? It's time to see what's on the other side of that coin. Return to the save just before the party, stopping into the bathroom and holding up a piece of witch paper to the reflection. Steal the bloody key and return to Hugo's shrine, saying the phrase we heard him use in security. With the theme in hand, the birthday party is cancelled, allowing us to escape discovery by the witch this time. Still head to the canteen, now having coffee with Kate until Sosa calls us to the elevator. Every floor is broken except for one. The second floor, the Sintra residence. Kate and Sosa both agreed to come along, as Kate wants to repay you for the help you've given her along the way, and Sosa because this is kind of her whole thing. Use the dagger to break the illusory wall, heading deeper into the halls, where Kate also uses the dagger to open a passage. Reveal everything to Kate, who still agrees to stick beside you, and just as you open the wall to the water area, with our glasses broken and the dagger gone, stumble through the halls of the Sintra residence, encountering something. find duct tape in the bathroom, and regain our sight, reuniting with Kate, now with a seal across her face. Grab the key from the fridge, causing whatever Kate is right now to get furious. Use the key on the main office door, finding a photo fragment and activating a button, then exploring the rest of the apartment. Kate is sitting at the vanity, only she tells us... Interesting. Enter a room nearby to find another photo fragment, some arrows on the walls, and someone hiding in the closet. Ray Sintra has seen better days, now matching the complexion of every old person that thinks sunscreen is a myth. Use the arrow sequence we saw in her room on the TV to unlock the final hidden VHS tape, then view the pieces of the photo we've assembled so far. With the princess temporarily elsewhere, pull a Ty Pennington and Extreme Makeover Home Edition the living room to match the photo. We're missing some key pieces of the puzzle though, so return to the bedroom to find another photo fragment, Kate obviously taking the role of Ray's mother, which must make us Daddy Sintra. Sprint into Demori's room to get additional lore, then circle back around to the bedroom to grab the doll from where Hugo used to be. Navigate a death maze, including a door that runs away from us, and return to the living room to put the finishing touches on the recreation. Kate tells us to wash up before the picture, so head to the bathroom. Having returned from hell itself, being possessed by the devil, light up a Marlboro Red and take the family photo. Except someone's missing. Now playing as Ray DeMori, navigate the flames, finding a toy ball along the way. Avoid Kate, dodging through the fire until arriving at a pool surrounded by enemies, drinking from the blood to restore our health, and escape to Ray's tomb, watching Ray DeMori burn to death. Kate is freed from her possession, but we aren't. Obtain a thame, recalling what Kate said about the vanity in the bedroom. Use the dagger here to open the way to a hidden room locked behind a retinal scan, then head into the final confrontation. The snake begs for DeMori's life, offering to flee, to never return. But we aren't Brian anymore. With DeMori dead, the office returns to sanity. Everything supernatural is removed. The workers regain their sanity, and we're hailed as the heroes of Sintracorp. There's just one problem. Who's the new CEO? Hugo brings us the head of Ray Sintra, which we could use to become CEO. A man who started with so little could ascend to the highest position in the world right now. Reject that future and leave, stopping to say goodbye to Sintra. Rewind back to that choice, this time refusing to kill DeMori, which doesn't make a difference. He's in control now. Take Ray's head to the computer and activate the CEO selection program, then try to make Corvo CEO, except he's dead so it doesn't work. So shove Chapman's ID in there instead. Fuck it. One ending to go, and I saved the best for last. Use our own ID, claiming the title of CEO for ourselves, and watch as the stock absolutely plummets. Until it doesn't. How? How did we turn it around with no leadership experience? is waiting. Before moving on to the final achievement, check our saved games to find one save from April 1st, 1972 at 10:18 p.m. Load it up to find... With everything else accomplished, play through the entire game again, only this time we can't save at all. The entire game, start to finish, in one sitting without saving. If I die a single time, it's back to the beginning. Just in case that wasn't enough for you, after upgrading my flashlight with Dashi, it completely stopped working, meaning I had to rely on glow sticks for the rest of the game. With every ending unlocked, coworker rescued, and our soul sitting directly with Beelzebub himself, Yuppie Psycho has been 100%ed. Thank you all for watching. This was a video I've wanted to do for a while now, so I'm glad I finally got to wrap it up. I think it's a really underappreciated gem that I haven't heard enough talk about. The developers have a new game coming out soon called Catchesis that I will definitely be checking out, so be sure to look out for it. As always, a huge shout out to my patrons, Alex, Me Jessica, Batvic, Turd Ferguson, Since I Use Ad Blockers, Mustachero, Dixby, Jude, Matt, Spiralt, Muriel, Envy, Raven, Baneful Biscuit, Amignon, Horizon, Emo Trashcan, Vamris, Verso, Alexandria Farstrider, Romlet, Vons, Max, Vince, Nicole, El Jaguar, Jazzy, and all my other patrons. You all make these videos possible. Thank you. Don't worry, I didn't forget about Arkham Origins. It's still coming, and probably very soon. I'll see you in the next one.